Shoot, let's start the show.
Welcome to the Neverdaily podcast, episode 314. 314? 314.
331.
Check it, lock it, print the gate.
Yep.
The podcast where it plays out as if you are woefully unprepared to give the book report in front of the class that you know you should have done, but you figured you might be able to just talk your way through it.
And the class is being held hostage by terrorists.
And the class are deaf people. The more grandiose your hand gestures, the more impressed they believe what they can't hear is that's playing out in front of their faces. If you had to be bereft of one of your senses, which one would you give up?
Common sense, because I'm used to it. And the word sense is in it, so it counts.
That's not one.
Then I would say, as much as I love music and stuff, I would say I want to be able to see still.
So you'd get rid of hearing?
Yeah,
Well,
because then
okay.
I could still read, I could still watch movies, I could still see, I could still do stuff, I could still play sports, I could still write, I could still use a computer just fine, which is kind of essential to what I do right now. But also I need to hear, I don't know, it's hard. I'd still want to be able to see though.
I think to continue, you could be here's my breakdown. You could be a fully functioning adult and never say a thing.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you had your sense of sight, no one would suspect.
Mm-hmm.
Same could be said about hearing. The same could be said about the sense of touch, which is, it's that oft chance where someone flings a desk chair at you in the office and you don't flinch because it didn't hurt. So that one you probably need to hold on to. And then it comes down, so that leaves your olfactory sense of smell, and your sense of taste.
For
I
some
would
reason,
wager.
my brain just did sight or hearing. I'd lose my sense of smell.
Wow, I said I don't. Oh wait, I might not have said the five senses, so I might not have primed that pump properly for you.
Also, I go worst case scenario a lot.
Yeah. So I would. Yeah. Well, what did you say? Sense of smell?
Yeah, I'd lose smell because there's lots of stinky stuff. I live in a mill town right now.
Yeah.
So I would definitely want to lose my sense of smell.
So here's my argument to keep sense of smell and dump sense of taste is you could continue to operate as a fully functioning adult, bereft of the sense of taste because it's only for you. However, the sense of smell is still critical when it comes to senses that could alert you to danger. The likelihood that sense of taste comes into play where you're like, wait, everybody stop. Stop eating. Wait a second. I taste an almondy flavor. This custard
is
has
arsenic.
been tainted with arsenic. Not likely. So
yeah,
I
but
would.
some of us want to meet a grizzly bear in the woods.
What just happened?
What?
Are you reading the back door and trying to?
No.
No. Oh, wait. Did you just do the man versus bear thing?
No, I just did maybe it wouldn't be the worst thing if you met a bear sometimes.
Oh, I see. The irony.
Yeah.
The irony of the insincere statement.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What
No,
about
so
what about you?
I dump sense of taste. It would be a major sacrifice, but they all are. But the only thing that you're really sacrificing with sense of taste is your own. It comes down to like your own sincere pleasure,
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion. We're in a time and age where I don't need the sense of taste so much to know whether something is now rancid, you know?
Yeah.
Uh,
There are,
so
and as weird as it sounds coming from a fat kid, there are people out there who think of eating food as a chore. Like I have a friend, his name's Jordan. Like eating food for him is literally a chore every single
yeah,
time. Like
yeah,
he'd be like, we'd be sitting in his room, like, because his house was the hangout spot, because his parents didn't care how late we were there. We could walk in the front door at 3 a.m. His parents wouldn't care. And so we were always at his house, and there'd be times he's just like, I haven't eaten for like 2 days. He'd be like, I don't feel good. And then he'd be like, oh, it's because I haven't eaten for 2 days. And then he'd go eat like 2 pieces of plain bread and call
he's
it good.
fine.
Yeah.
So let me ask you: have you kept track of Jordan?
Yeah.
What's he do now?
He does real estate stuff.
Okay, is he successful?
Yeah.
I have a couple of those people in my life where eating is a chore,
Mm-hmm.
and what I've found is they are typically very mentally focused,
Yes.
task oriented,
Mm-hmm.
relatively successful most of the time, because things that you or I might, based on our rotundity and our visual rotundity and girth, it's not a long shot to say we enjoy the process of eating.
Yeah.
Where some people it's a burden because it gets in the way of their day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it gets in the way of the tasks.
Yeah.
And I'm not that way.
Are those people, also like natural minimalists?
Yeah. Yes.
Because yeah, it's him too.
Yeah. Yep. Mentally efficient would be
Mm-hmm.
a good way to put it.
Yeah. He was proud of the point for like 10 years of his life is he could fit all of his possessions into his car. Like it was just like
Wow.
everything he owned that he actually owned could fit in his car. And everything else, if he didn't care about. Does that make sense? Like it was just
Yeah.
like, I don't care if I have a couch, I don't care about it. Like I could leave that couch, no problem. I don't care.
I'm about to do a sell all that thou hast. I sold all my 3D printers a while back. Still got some boat anchors. I like the phrase boat anchor because it reminds me as a kid. He heard his parents saying boat anchor and in a kind of a snide way one time.
Mm-hmm.
And so he'd always walk around school calling people boat anchors. You boat anchor. We're like, what are you saying? He's like, boat anchor. You don't even know what it means. I'm like, do you know what you're saying? Boat anchor. Look it up. Adults say it. It's like mean.
That literally remind me of the Napoleon Dynamite scene where he calls him a bow daggett.
Bow daggett, yeah. Which I believe is a real term. I think it's like it has something to do with like poop hanging off your butt or something like that.
That's a dingleberry.
That's a dingo. I know it's a dingo, but I Google it while I tell you
Daggett.
something from our friends over at This Is True. Okay,
There's
Chase?
there's a musical artist named Bo Daggett. But in Urban Dictionary it says it's an incompetent, foolish, or stupid person.
Wow, so it doesn't have anything to do with poop?
It's from the 1980s.
Oh, that's not very long ago either.
But it is related. It says also see dingleberry, so they are related.
Okay. Why? See, sometimes I impress myself. Sometimes. How did that I touch myself ever get on the radio?
Nobody knows.
It's just, although the 90s were a weird time.
Yeah.
Like we push, I remember them clawing back certain senses of propriety from media in the 90s because there were some pushing against it. And I've mentioned this before, but I remember in the 90s, late 80s and 90s, maybe, but definitely the 90s, PG-13 could have one nude scene in it for a period of time. I remember there was I can't remember the name of it. What was that movie? Michael J. Fox in it. And
Teen Wolf.
I don't think it was Teen Wolf.
Well, I know 16 Candles has the random shower scene, and it's PG-13.
Yeah. I can't remember which one it was. Doc Hollywood. Thank you, bro. Oh, the great Brandino and Doc Hollywood coming in the clinch with Doc Hollywood. That's right. Because he walks to the edge of a lake and this girl is topless. And I remember looking around the theater, seeing everybody with a full salute.
Give me the popcorn, but you don't like eating popcorn. It's for a different reason.
Sometimes text messages say so much. Liz just posted in the back door, just a dash. Dash. Hype.
She's trying to say dash this conversation.
Oh, wait, no, she says, oops. You know what that is? Liz is probably literally transplanting a ficus right now and butt dialed a dash to us.
She's doing tree surgery, saving the life of an exotic plant.
Yep. All right. Let me tell you something from our friends over at This Is True. I love saying that. Henny Rojas was asleep in his family home in Wilton Manors, Florida, when he was awakened around 1 a.m. by his nephew screaming that there was a man in the living room. Rojas jumped up and confronted the intruder, who fled after a tussle. Police found a man nearby and were pretty sure they had the right guy. Austin Sarasani, 34, told officers that he had been drinking at a club and was, quote, attempting to go to his friend Paul's house, who resides in the area, but apparently entered the wrong house. It was also clear that Sarasani had been badly beaten. His face was bruised and cut. Rojas explained he is a mixed martial arts fighter, and his training simply kicked in when presented with the threat. Sarasani had been charged with home invasion and is being held on a $20,000 bail. He'll also be charged for his emergency room visit, apparently. I recall not too long ago, there was an MMA fighter, Lionheart Smith. I don't know what's his first name. Dang it. Dude's a mountain. If you Google him, Lionheart. Oh, crap. Lionheart. My brain's not here today. Lionheart Smith. I can't remember his first name. Dude is like, he looks like from Street Fighter. He looks like he should just be on the video game. He had a similar encounter. His girlfriend and I believe his kid were at home. They were all at home, middle of the night. Some dude rocked into his house. Guy was hot, really high on stuff. And this played out where this guy, you can watch for 25 straight minutes slugging it out with literally the best MMA fighters in the world, right? And this guy could barely handle this guy that was high, just high as balls. And it was kind of an eye opener. Like the kid. Oh, I remember the kid who broke in was also like a state wrestling champ, which sucks.
Yeah.
So a high state wrestling champ who doesn't know his limits, apparently, also doesn't know, never met a screen door he didn't like. I just think about that now. I think about, in my head, I'm like, oh no, I'd take care of business if somebody came into my house. And then I hear that about Lionheart Smith, and I think, I'm going to take care of business. Also, I'm going to make sure I have that SWAT at that 12 gauge nearby.
Gotta make the other person leaky when they're on that kind of stuff.
I think so.
It's like I can't remember where it was. I saw some video, and it was a police officer. He was just basically saying, yeah, one time it took 5 officers to hold down a 120-pound lady who was on PCP.
Yeah,
And they're like, we are trained to restrain people, and they're like, he's like, granted, we are trained to restrain people without hurting them permanently, but he said 5 dudes to hold down a 120-pound lady on PCP, and he's like, because they don't feel pain, so their adrenaline is through the roof.
Yeah,
and so they're just like superhuman strength at that point.
it's that kind of thing where I'm like, you know what would be cool? And I'll bet you could almost do it as a DIY surgery kit you could buy on Amazon, where it's like wherever the adrenal gland is in your body, can't even say I know, somewhere probably in your torsoical region, I would guess. You're Googling
it is actually right by your kidneys.
Okay. So I was correct in my medical parlance of torsoical region.
Yes.
What I think would be cool is, just a little laparoscopic incision you can make by yourself, and you stick in it's kind of like a plastic holder, and it's sort of open, so when you put it in, you can slide it around your adrenal gland, and then just kind of it holds it there. But on the outside of your body, on the side, is the same lever that the guy who is selling you a hot dog at a baseball game uses to dispense coins, the chicka 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 chicka.
Mm-hmm.
That guy? 75 cents. Chicka 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 chicka, right?
Yep.
And it's got a chicka chicka lever on it. So if you needed suddenly, I don't know, for whatever reason, to like lift a car, or the stairs just seem a little too much out of your range, a little too dramatic for you today, chicka once. See you, stairs.
Yep.
See you.
You're
in an argument with your wife, and you're like, I'm over this, chicka. I don't know. Actually, I take that one back, because I don't know what exactly more adrenaline would do for you in an argument with your wife.
You can just run through the wall to get away.
You are intensely more wrong.
Yes.
Maybe. That's what it is.
I tried to run through the wall, but with my luck, I'd always hit the studs.
Yeah.
Every single time.
Me too.
And if I didn't hit the studs, I'd get like an electrical cable, like right at the throat area, that would then like garrote me.
Uh-huh. So one of those white cables that's stapled to everything inside your wall.
It's like, I didn't hit the studs. Why am I choking?
Also, we would both have a problem here, is that we Luther in the back door says, or intensely more right.
Never happens.
That would be okay, depending on where in the conversation it was. That's probably me. I'm already blackout drunk, right? Most of the time, until the conversation. And I really don't know what that is. It's like a chemical in my brain where it's like, I'm right. Nah, I'm right. It's literally like chugging Everclear, right serum. It's like and I'm just like, no, I'm totally right. I'm right here, until like sometime in the near future where my brain goes, actually, we might be a little wrong. Might be wrong. Might be a bit wrong on this one. You and I would have another challenge though with running through walls like the Kool-Aid Man.
Mm-hmm.
And that is, I believe the standard width between two studs is 16 inches.
18.
Is it 18?
Stud width.
Depending on where you're at, probably in the world.
No, it's
16.
16 to 24, depending on where you're at.
Okay, well, I'm hoping my house is 16, because 24 sounds like a wind would. But anyway, measure 16 across your shoulders. You're not going to make it.
No.
Even if you're in between the studs, buddy.
Yeah, I have a hard time getting through those when I turn sideways.
Oh, wow. In the back door, Brooke posted a link.
Is that just the spider video? Have you seen the spider video, the drugs video?
Yeah. No, this. She says, check out this website. It's real people's experiences on like every drug imaginable. Interesting. Yeah, we'll have to check that out. I got another This Is True for you. Anne Lenders, no relation to Anne of Green Gables.
I hope she's a banker.
Also very close to Ann Landers. Do you remember who Ann Landers was?
I don't. Am I old enough to remember who Ann Landers is?
Well, that's a good question. It might be more.
Looking at her hair in this picture I just Googled, I'm not old enough to know who Ann Landers is.
So she was. How'd you like to be this? How'd you like this one to be your literal eternal biography? Esther Eppie Lederer was the second and most famous advice columnist. The second most famous. Used the pen name Ann Landers. Probably she was just behind Dear Abby. I think Dear Abby was probably the most popular advice columnist. A job that, boy, what that. Think about that. I'm sorry, I derailed my This Is True. We'll get back to that in a second. But imagine a time where you are literally like, okay, in the time of Ann Landers and Dear Abby, the newspaper was our social media platform.
Yeah.
Okay. In that time, imagine it like this. You're the only one that got a Twitter account. You're the only one that got one. Everybody could look at your account, but you're the only one that got one.
And then nobody could ever see, like if you tweeted at them, they got to choose who got to see what you tweeted. If that makes any sense at all. They're just like, nah, I don't want to. No one gets to see this one. No one gets to see this one. No one gets to see this one. This one.
And no one ever gets to disagree with you.
Yeah.
Like there's no comment on the comment. Ann Landers and Dear Abby had the only social media accounts and syndicated. So like, it wasn't just like every town was like, you know who our smart advice columnist is? You know who ours is? No. They were all like, we're just going to use Ann Landers. Like,
yeah.
That is so crazy to me. That's so crazy. In a time also when we got sex advice from a 3'8" German lady, Austrian lady, Dr. Ruth Westheimer. All of our sex advice, we just bent an ear to this little old hobbit whenever she had something to tell us about what good sex is.
Yeah.
What in the world? Where today, if you want to know what good sex is, all you have to do is pick a name, pick
your poison.
kink.com.
Yeah.
But no, that was a weird time. All of these ladies had hairstyles and clothing styles that when you look at the picture, you know it smelled like wheat bread. And we were like, oh, did you see what Ann Landers said? Oh, did you see the sage advice Ann Landers gave? Oh, did you see Dr. Ruth showing us all how we should properly put a condom on using a banana? Oh, no, I didn't see that. Oh, you got to check it out. Where can I see it? Well, they might replay it at 11:30 p.m. on Channel 6. You just have to be there right when it goes on. Otherwise,
and hopefully your antenna is working tonight.
What a crazy time. Okay, back to the This Is True. Ann Landers. No, just kidding. Ann Landers was at the Zeus Museum. That's Zeus. Take a couple letters out. No one's going to care. Okay, just kill a couple vowels. It's still Zeus, any way you look at it. At the Zeus Museum, when she noticed a drawing of a dog, it was part of a larger drawing Adrian Van de Ven did in 1619, which appeared in a book. The Zeeuws Museum also had the original drawing on display, borrowed from Amsterdam's Rijksmuseum, where Lenders is a curator. So she's a curator at the Rijksmuseum. It's Amsterdam, so it's probably Rijksmuseum, where Lenders was a curator. But what Lenders noticed was the dog's resemblance to one in a painting in the Rijksmuseum's collection, Night Watch, from 1642. Now, just dial you in a little bit on those dates. The book Adrian van der Ven did, 1619. The painting in the Rijksmuseum's collection, Night Watch, was from 1642 by Rembrandt van Rijn. A lot of people don't know he had a last name. He wasn't just like Prince. He wasn't just Rembrandt. He had a last name, Van Rijn. So she did a detailed comparison. Quote, "The head turns in exact the same angle with the mouth slightly opened," Lenders said. Quote, "Both dogs have long hair and ears that hang vertical. Rembrandt," Lenders says, "copied the dog from van der Ven's drawing." Whoa.
That's plagiarism.
Wow. That's deep. That's intense.
I'm literally looking at these two pictures, and yeah, they're the same.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
That is really interesting. I really like that. There is this is interesting. There is let me see if I'm hitting the back button on my
Furiously.
On my YouTubes to try to get to something.
Gun. Sounds like a machine gun going off over there.
On my house? At my place?
I'm just joking.
Just
joshing.
I'm trying to. Oh yeah. Okay. There is So there, I have to say this because I sometimes I feel like when this kind of thing happens, we should get the word out as much as possible. There's a social media influencer named Giacomo Tura, who's a guitarist, and you've probably stumbled across one of his videos at some point. He's always got like a very brightly lit room, and everybody's wearing like in living color level neon pinks and blues and red. It's very Disney feeling, almost like, but they're 20 somethings, and he'll have like another guitarist and they're like, wow, and it's very kind of dialed in guitar playing and everything. Come to find out, and this guy is like wildly successful, had like sponsorships with guitar companies and amp companies, was touring, was doing all this stuff. And there's a guy, a bass player from Scotland named Danny Sapko.
That's Scottish enough.
And he was like, hang on. And he just starts looking into Giacomo. And because he started seeing in the comments that somebody be like, well, that's so-and-so's lick. And he'd see it all the time. So he's like, hang on. And he goes and looks into it. Giacomo's entire repertoire of guitar playing is ripping off other like low view guitarists on YouTube. He's sold albums
using
with the guitar parts.
Yeah, stealing other people's riffs.
Yeah, and these guys are even showing up on his comments going like, this is my song, or this is that the solo is my solo.
Yeah.
But he's so big that their voices get drowned out, even in his comments, the voices, but it caught up to him because a lot of like other guitar/music influencers on YouTube would like have him on to do like a collab. There's this other really, really amazing bass player who had him on to do a collab, and it like fell apart because Giacomo couldn't play well enough. there's this like Uber producer / guitar player, studio guitar player of the Stars.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dude could call up, Maynard James Keenan from Tool, and Maynard shows up.
Yeah.
That kind of had Giacomo on the show, and then he posts a video. He's like, my interview with Giacomo won't ever show up. He couldn't play well enough to be on my show. And just they dismantle this guy.
Uh-huh.
But what's crazy is, like, not only does the internet never forget anything, like dudes deleting stuff. Oh, this was interesting. So, okay, forwarding into what happened. So they dismantled this guy. His sponsorships get taken. All these things get removed. He never apologizes for what he did. He did like some sort of like, it's sort of like a politician's level apology, where it was just kind of like getting beat by a sock full of quarters.
Yeah.
Just a bit of a drubbing for the victims in this case. And so he kind of just galumphed away into ignominy for a very short period of time as far as the internet's concerned.
Mm-hmm.
Dude just came back recently, starts posting on his Instagram. He's like, "How you like me now?" And it's like all these pictures of him on yachts with sexy women and glossy men. And, and then he puts out another album. Instantly, Danny Sapko, this bassist from Scotland, is like, "I'm going to tear this thing apart." He goes through it with a fine-tooth comb, finds again that this guy is still ripping people's solos and like small artists off.
Yeah.
He does a video called "He's Back and He's Stealing Again." And it's like 5 minutes of this guy just undressing this guy again. And dude, this guy is Danny Sapko is so funny too. He's like memorized Jaco's whole Instagram feed, right?
Yeah.
So he's like, "When I heard that solo, I was like, I know I've heard that before." And he goes and he's like, "I found it. It's this guy." And then he goes, "Then I scrolled through his feed and found out he deleted one of his posts." Which, like, I mean, this guy's all over him. So Giacomo doesn't stand a chance. The internet's like, it's like a bolo on the internet now. It's like, be on the lookout for Giacomo. Like, he can't run far enough now, but I don't think he cares. He's made so much money off of it. There's some of these guys on the internet, they get so wildly successful that there's always going to be someone that believes in them.
Yeah.
And usually, like, when you get to the point where you got 100 million of anybody,
Mm-hmm.
you could take a hit and statistically, you're going to lose half your audience. They're like, okay, I'm still 50 million. And by now, I'm also managing a couple OnlyFans artists. So what you going to do?
Yeah.
If you could take me down, but you can't take down their vaginas.
Yeah.
I'm still making money on this thing.
Yeah. You're just like, well, guess what? My $10 million house is paid for. I got $10 million in the bank. What do I care?
Yeah, or I have an apartment that nobody ever gets to go to. It's mine and mine alone. I bought it. I live in LA. And anytime you see me in a mansion, I'm renting it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not strapped down.
Yeah.
If they're smart. But anyway, I just thought that was kind of, I was like, man, some people, it's just like Teflon, you get to a certain level. And even if all of your internet celebrity goes away, who gives a crap?
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh, that was fun while it lasted." There's a lot of fun while it lasted on the internet.
Yep, and they're still famous anyways, just for different reasons.
Yeah. Like, what's his name? What's that one? I want to say he's from Finland or one of those places. He's a really popular gamer.
I don't know. Is it
I'm talking?
Is it Ninja?
Nah.
Oh, yeah, he's American.
He at one point he was the most popular YouTuber.
I don't know. I still play Halo, the original, so it's not like I'm big into video games. I literally just played it like 2 days ago.
It's not like he's Mr. Beast level. I'm so mad at myself right now. Let's see.
Euler.
See if I can find if he's on any of these, like PewDiePie.
Okay.
PewDiePie. Like, that guy had a couple run-ins, like, said some un-PC things and, like, got, his block knocked off.
Mm-hmm.
10 most subscribed YouTube channels in the world. He's still rocking at number 9.
Yeah.
110 million. Like, you could say whatever you want and lose half your audience, and you're still paying your bills.
Yeah. You're still,
and everyone in your neighborhood.
It's like I know people from my hometown who have 5-6 million YouTube subscribers, and I know they're raking in millions of dollars a year.
Yeah.
Like not just from YouTube, but from like merch and stuff. But yeah, just I mean, if you can get to 5 million-ish YouTube subscribers, you're gonna be making $1 million a year easy. With, like,
I had
in your sleep.
I had a friend who reached out to me for some social media marketing a couple of years ago, and he was like, "Hey, I'm something weird's happened, and I'm trying to see how I can make hay while the sun shines with it." He has this channel. I love his channel. He does like urban spelunking.
I love urban exploration.
Urban X. Yeah,
I love Urban X.
so he does that. He's also like he's a pro. And I don't know how this is even possible, but he's a professional metal detectorist.
Mm-hmm.
He's like sponsored by the companies. Dude's in his own right. He's slaying it. But he had one video that went viral, and it didn't have anything to do with urban exploration or metal detecting. He's on a beach with his family, and he got stabbed by a stingray in the foot, and it blew up. And so he reaches out to me. He's like, "What? Consult me. Like, what can I do to make hay on this?"
Mm-hmm.
And so we talked and discussed it and everything. And my main summary was, you got 10 more stingrays. Cause like lightning in a bottle, when it's something weird that happened to you, like the lock up your kids, hide your wife, hide your kids, guy, it's lightning in the bottle. There's nothing you're going to be able to do. Your shtick is not what made you viral. It's you were standing on a street at the right time when, it's like that dude that
Ocean spray guy.
The ocean
Cranberry
spray
ocean
guy.
spray.
Yeah.
Like
that
you
guy.
just
There was a time around the Vine era where there's this comedian, and he would make fake commercials. But they were so funny that like Skittles picked him up.
Oh, okay.
And at one point he did this Skittles commercial, and he was like a captain, and he dropped some Skittles off the boat on accident. He's like, "I've dropped my Skittles into the entire ocean." Which isn't, it's factually true.
Yeah.
I love that. The entire ocean. Anything you drop into the ocean is in the entire ocean.
In the entire ocean.
I love it. But he went viral for a sec.
Mm-hmm.
What's his name that did all of his viral stuff? He was like the first first car riding social media influencer. He's the one that did like, "So what is this when I go to a party and they're like, 'Oh, Tina's a party pooper.' What is this? Is she poop at the parties? Is that what her thing is?" And you could tell he like woke up that morning. He was still like, looked like he just woke up, and he's like recording his thoughts in the car. And he probably started doing it while his car was warming up.
Yeah.
He probably had like a Volkswagen Jetta, and he had to have the key halfway on, to get the glow plugs warmed.
Mm-hmm.
So he's pontificating, and then he's funny. Fula is his name. Fula. Anyway, I'm just talking a lot, Chase.
Why? Oh, wait, that's why we're here, so keep doing it.
Podcast.
Yeah.
Chase.
What?
Should we do the Music Tuesday on Thursday and then we'll rock the rest of the
Sure, we do whatever you want.
episode? Let's do it.
I'm here for it.
It's Music Tuesday on Thursday, people. I have a theme song for Music Tuesday on Thursday.
Ooh.
Ha ha ha. I know you guys have been waiting for it. Here it is.
I've seen cocks strut broad in the morning light, falcons scooping fish with all their might. Boobies do a dance that looks pretty legit, but I'm all about those awesome tits.
What if that just was our theme song for Music Tuesday on Thursday? Just one more thing you need a whole lot of context into. Why?
Yeah.
That's not our theme song. I don't have one. What song did you bring today?
So I brought a song by a band. Well, it's a guy named, the band's called City and Color. It's a side project. Shout out to Canadians out there, to my fellow peeps. If you've ever heard of the screamo band Alexis on Fire, then you've heard this person singing. You might not know they have a side project, but it's called City and Color. Cool part is his name is Dallas Green. The name of the band is City and Color. If you can't get that, then I'm sorry for you.
Explain it.
It's right. Dallas is a city. Green is a color. That's his name.
City
IRL.
and Color.
City and Color.
By the way, perchance, is his album sitting somewhere behind your head?
Yeah. So ironically, this is one of his albums. I do have the album that the song I'm playing today is from, but I didn't put that up just so I can show more of my diverse albums.
Is it
and I
that
could
one?
Talk about it.
Is it the one in the stack that's kind of like this?
Yeah, that one.
That one where it's it's not. It's like this.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, or like that, depending on which way you're looking at me, which side of the globe you're on.
Okay.
But yeah, it's this song is one of my favorite songs by him. It's a good song. You might like it. He has a lot of albums out. If you like him, go listen to him. He's a really cool guy. I've seen him live. Super nice guy. So, song's called Sleeping Sickness by City and Color.
Oh crap. I faded out on the last one, so the volume was all the way down. Let me start over. Sorry. I'm so sorry about that. I wasn't going to say anything. I was just going to let you intro.
You're just building the suspense.
Here we go.
Now my dream
And that's the song.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Was there another singer in the middle?
Yeah.
Who?
There is.
Oh, you don't have to know.
I don't know. I'll try to look it up real quick.
It almost sounded like him, but I could tell it was a feat. It's like Sleeping Sickness by City and Color. Feet.
His name is Gord Downey.
Okay.
If you've ever heard of the band, The Tragically Hip.
Yeah.
He was their lead singer.
Holy cow. He's pulling some heavy hitters in there.
They're both Canucks. They got the Canuck connection.
Tragically Hip is like... It's kind of funny because I'd say Tragically Hip is relatively unknown in the U.S. Like most people, if you're a Gen Xer, you heard of Tragically Hip,
mm-hmm.
but you might not have ever heard their songs. But they're like heavy hitter in Canada.
Yeah, and so this guy's other band, they're probably one of the biggest screamo bands that come out of Canada. Like they've been on multiple world tours called Alexis on Fire. One word. But he's their singer, clean vocals, and lead guitar player for Alexis on Fire, and this is his side project, City in Color. So like he's big. Like a lot of people in the music scene know him. He's worked with Pink before.
I'm sorry.
She searched him out to do like a little collaboration with him. Like he's pretty big in the scene. He does a lot of writing for other people as well. He's a really good, musician, writing lyrics, songs, all that kind of stuff. So
if you had to pick some of the biggest Canadian bands that you're aware of, who'd be on your list?
Well, I listen to mostly like screamo and stuff, so it'd be the Alexis on Fire. It's a band called Silverstein. They're like one of the original emo bands, and they're still kicking out albums. They probably have like 20 albums at this point. I have their album up there too. Rush, everyone knows who freaking Rush is,
right?
Yeah. So it's just, I don't know. There's some good Canadian bands.
Yeah, it just depends on what era you're coming from. One of a very popular band from Canada is The Band.
Mm-hmm.
The Band, that's the name. I wonder if Alexis on Fire was any extraction from the popular Canadian band Arcade Fire.
I'm pretty sure Alexis on Fire's been around much longer than Arcade Fire.
Whatever. I have a debate in my head all the time whether Arcade Fire should be known more as a band or as a YouTube act. That's my challenge to my brain, and I am still debating it. Did you know Sum 41's from Canada?
I did not know Sum 41 was from Canada.
Nickelback?
I knew Nickelback was from Canada.
Some of my favorite Canadian bands. It really bothers me when I hear a Canadian band and I'm like, why aren't these guys more popular? How is it possible that they're not more popular? How? One of my all-time favorites where it defies logic for me on why they're not more popular is Big Wreck. It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, they've got everything. And from the beginning, when they started, they had songs that were unbelievable, like radio fodder for days.
Mm-hmm.
And still we're not given their just rewards in the States, and I don't know why. It makes me mad.
Oh, let's not forget the band April Wine. I only say that because they say that band all the time in Trailer Park Boys.
Yep.
That's the only reason I've ever heard of April Wine.
And there are some famous Canadian bands that I'm like, yeah, we could have been okay with that band if that band had never been born, like Loverboy.
Yeah,
Probably
that's true.
okay. If
Yeah.
I'm gonna get some heat for this one, I kind of feel like Bare Naked Ladies could have done without them. Why do I feel that way? Because I feel like it's almost like a
It feels like a shtick.
yes. Yes, it feels caricature. It feels like if a caricature band was created, like the Wiggles. I feel like Bare Naked Ladies is like an adult Wiggles.
Yeah. But yeah, like their music sounds like, oh, this isn't serious. This is just something they do, like as a joke. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they put on like their acting suit and they go perform this music. Like it's almost like Spinal Tap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It feels like you could hire Bare Naked Ladies for a birthday. Like
So Brooks says it's almost like it's sitcom intro music. It is. They wrote the Big Bang Theory song.
oh, they did?
Yes, that's the Bare Naked Ladies song.
Okay.
Like they wrote that. Like that's them.
How would you like to be that? And this is funny. I just saw the commercial, or not commercial. I saw a video the other day of this. They're on stage. This punkish band from the '90s, maybe early 2000s. They wrote the Phineas and Ferb theme song.
Yeah.
And they play it at their concerts, basically because all of the 20-somethings in the crowd were children when Phineas and Ferb was really popular. Maybe it's still popular. I don't know. You got some old classics of some standbys that you couldn't do without. And some of these you don't even know you couldn't do without. But Bryan Adams, for example, not only slaying it in the 90s, 80s and 90s for songs that are eternal, but dude's a songwriter like crazy. Yeah. Like so many songs you probably know and love were written by him. Bachman Turner Overdrive.
Like,
come on.
Bryan Adams, all his love songs, he's co-written Kiss songs. You know that, right?
He's co-written Kiss songs?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Rock and Roll Hell, War Machine. He wrote When the Night Comes for Joe Cocker. Like, he's written a bunch of other, charting stuff. He's written for Barbra Streisand, Aretha Franklin. Like, he's written for a lot of people.
You want to know one that frustrates me, and there's a science behind this. And a lot of people don't know this. They think he was being brave. But when Joe Rogan had this deal land with Spotify for $150 million back in the day, and freaking Neil Young comes out of nowhere, and he's like, I'm pulling everything off of YouTube. This is disgusting. No. Let me tell you why Neil Young did that or could do that. Is because Neil Young, say what you will about his provenance in music, dumb. Maybe you like him, maybe you don't. It wasn't a brave move because no band who is currently in the industry, like actively producing records and touring and all that, no band could do that because they're still paying the man.
Mm-hmm.
They don't own their shiz. They are beholden to whatever label. Neil Young didn't give up crap by doing that. It was not a brave move. Ugh, it makes me sick.
He just took money away from other people is what he did.
Well, and then there, you'll also notice that there wasn't a big Me Too movement where everyone else was pulling their. Maybe there were a couple. Joni Mitchell might have done it, or was she dead by then? I can't remember.
She was probably dead on the inside by then.
I don't know. There might have been a couple others that did that, but you didn't see any bands from a modern time doing it because they can't.
Yeah, they don't
contractually
own anything.
It's not that they couldn't. It's not that they had a deal with Spotify, these other bands. It's that their record label is is the one that holds the bag and says where they're going to be distributed.
Mm-hmm.
And they're still on the hook for whatever massive amount of money that record label has doled out to make them a success. And they still have 2 albums on their contract that they've got to produce. Neil Young, meh. Also, just don't like Neil Young. I think part of it might be I lived in Alabama for a long time, and Sweet Home Alabama really gave Neil the middle finger. And then after that, I was like, why did they give the middle finger to Neil Young? And then you look into it, and I'm like, yeah, screw you, Neil Young. It's kind of like when you look into Jane Fonda and Vietnam, and then you're like, screw you, Jane Fonda.
When she turned in prisoners of war to their own captors.
That's she, but
and
then
yet
again,
she still is popular and famous for some reason after literally turning in American POWs to.
In my mind,
Viet
she's a
Cong.
traitor.
Yeah.
But the crazy thing about facts and history is there's always somebody who can go, no, that's not how. That's not it. That's not how it went. That's, so there's always going to be another side that can look at it.
They're called a publicist, and they always lie through their teeth. And
my question to those people who think Jane Fonda isn't a piece of giant hot garbage, is she ended up apologizing, sort of, but she was compelled to apologize, but then not really apologize. She pulled a politician apology.
Yeah.
But if she didn't ever do anything wrong, why did she have to apologize?
She does the, I'm sorry that you felt that way.
Yes.
No,
yes.
I'm sorry for what I did. I'm sorry that you felt a certain way about what I did.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's not an apology.
Yeah. You're the problem. The way your brain is translating what I did is a farce. There's that photo of her that'll go down in ignominy of her pointing to Allied planes as she stands next to the 50 cal guns of the North Koreans. Just gross. Anyway,
Yeah.
I have a song.
Sing it or have someone else sing it. Your choice.
Amazing grace. Just kidding.
Hallelujah.
I'm bringing a song from a dude named Ike Dweck. Ike Dweck.
We like Ike. Oh, different guy?
Ike Dweck.
It's related to Ike from South Park?
No. And I couldn't even think of anything or anyone with the last name Dweck that I could say no relation to. This might help you a little bit. Ike Dweck holds a bachelor's degree in business management and hotel restaurant management from 1996 to 2001.
Hotel Moto Management?
Now you know. Now you know who Ike Dweck is.
Yep.
From Florida International University. That sounds like an online course to me. Florida International. Maybe it's a real one. Maybe it's a real one where your professor isn't a Word doc, but maybe not. But Ike Dweck, he sounds like he's from Ireland. But Ike Dweck, he's got a song called "Safe with Me," and it's just a vibe. I like it. I like it a lot. And I keep running. Okay, so I'll give everybody like it's a secret, like I'm some wizard. But my wife and other friends of mine are always like, "You're always finding really good stuff. Like, how do you do it?" And I've got very, very specific windows in my day and my routines and my workflow where music can exist in my ears.
Mm-hmm.
And where it can't. Like if I'm writing or researching, can't be I'll listen to Mozart.
Mm-hmm.
Or an old composer. Because I can't have words in my ears, right? A lot of people are that way.
I do the same. Well, I can listen to words if it's a song I've heard like a million times, because then it's just like I don't have to listen because I already know what it is. If that makes sense.
Yes, yeah, you're not tasked with trying to listen to the lyrics, or like I could listen to Enya because it's all you know. But when I can listen to music and it's just music, I find my favorite artist and I go to Spotify and I hit the drop down and I go listen to artists' radio.
Mm-hmm.
And then it shuffles a bunch of stuff into your earballs that are like that. And if you listen long enough, Spotify's like, guys, what else we got on the shelf? What else we got back there? Like it really struggles after maybe 2 hours.
Yeah.
To like start throwing you stuff. And so in that mode, my ear is listening just enough where I'm like, hang on. I liked that. What was that?
Mm-hmm.
And so I do, to others, it might seem like I'm sacrificing to distribute, like I'm making a sacrifice, like I'm listening. I'm like that influencer. It's like, I listened to 4 hours of terrible bands so that you didn't have to, so I could find you the golden nugs. And Ike Dweck was actually one of those that I found along the way. And then I find him along the way, and then I go and I look at his profile, and as of today, he's got like 1 million weekly or daily listeners. He's not new. I'm not some edgelord but Ike Dweck.
Can I just say one thing?
Yep.
Every time you say his name, it sounds like you're developing a sudden speech impediment.
Yeah, right? But
yeah, that then goes away immediately.
But what's also fun about it is it sounds like I'm Elmer Fudd, but tell me what words I'm supposed to be saying.
Yeah.
That's the other fun part of that. It's like Ike Dweck. It sounds like I'm a 3-year-old suddenly.
Like you sound like you're saying, I liked when he wrecked, just in one word.
Ike Dweck. Ike Dweck. Or it's like a 3-year-old telling you that something's wet. Ike Dweck. Something they did. They got something wet on accident.
Or they crashed their 3-wheeler.
Yeah, and they're
Ike
just
Dweck.
pointing somewhere like, Ike Dweck, Ike Dweck. I don't really know. Because that's his actual name. It does sound like a German tin can falling down the stairs.
Yes.
Ike
Agreed.
Dweck. All right, here's Safe With Me by Ike Dweck. I can't say his name now without being mad at you. All right, here we go.
Everyone's got demons in their piles of buried past that are now bathed in dust. And I know you wish that life could have been a bit kinder to you and all the things that you once touched. 'Cause your world is now just like an empty town, void of any noise with silent streets, building walls around yourself to dull the sound of voices telling you they always leave. If you're sitting in the cold, out of fear your flaws will show. We can live out where the warmth is till our names are etched in stone. I'll burn down every cobweb through the hallway to your heart. Darling, I'm not scared of spiders, nor the stories in your scars. If you're face down, trying to tread the water, you know you can climb my shoulders if you need. Darling, you're safe with me. Darling, you're safe with me. The only way you learn to dodge fires is only if you do what you've been warned. 'Cause if you live your life tiptoeing wires, how can you ever find where you belong? I know you made your vow to never stand on grounds where love might seem to grow then wither dead. Don't need to worry now, my dear, pound for pound, the only one who calms what's in my head. If you're sick here, I'll let you go. I can promise we'll be bonded till the sun's last dying glow. I'll burn down every cobweb through the hallway to your heart. Darling, there's no use in hiding. I want all you, not just parts of your face. Down, trying to tread the water. You know you can climb my shoulders if you need. Darling, you're safe with me.
And that rounds out our top 2 on the weekly top 2. Top 40, top 2. Thursday, Tuesday, music. Blues Day.
All the hits.
All 2 of the hits. Hits. We'll sell you the whole seat. You'll only need the edge.
All right, so that's Music Tuesday on Thursday. Chase.
Yes.
What in the friggin' heck did you even bring today?
I brought some cool stuff.
I'll be the judge of that.
Today I'm going to talk about superstitions that people believe are real. And this has to do a lot with other countries as well, not just ours. But superstitions are basically just us trying to do little life hacks, but regarding fate. So the wild part is even when we know it's not true, some of these have stuck so hard that people treat them like medical advice, like legal codes. They're even written into some countries' constitutions.
Really?
So most of the time, though, it's like, I'll do it just in case because what's it going to hurt? It's not going to hurt anybody.
Do you have any superstitions?
Wait.
I'm
yes.
so sorry. Back that up. I interrupted. What am I even doing? Please continue.
No, this is a conversation.
I get that, but you're teeing it up, and here I am.
But I do have a superstition. I'll answer your question. There's certain places I like to stand in the room when I'm watching college sports, and my team needs a play. I will go assume the position when they need me, and I'll do it every time.
You do?
Yeah.
Is this real? You really do this?
I don't know if it's just like, I don't know how it started or why it started, but I'll go stand in a certain spot. And so far it's worked. 60% of the time, it works every time.
Okay.
So like, and anyone who's played sports, there's a lot of sports superstitions. There's like rally hats. If you've ever watched or played baseball, you've probably seen rally hats where it's like you'll wear your hat weird, or people will stack hats on one dude.
Yeah.
And so it's like there, like some people, like there's always a thing like, oh, I didn't wash my socks the whole playoffs because we were winning.
Yeah.
And so like there's a lot of like random superstitions like that, because it's like people are like, well, if it doesn't, like, what's it gonna hurt? It's not gonna hurt. Like if it can't help, it can't hurt, right? So it's like, also it's like when I wear a life jacket in the bathtub, you know, like it can't hurt anything.
It can't.
It can only help, right?
It's like wearing a mask in the car alone.
Yeah. Or like wearing there's a dude who walks up and down our street all the time. He's an older guy walking his dog. There's never anyone within 100 yards of him, and he's got his mask on. You know, got to get that fresh air outside. And so it's like, yeah, sometimes we just do weird stuff. We do stuff that we don't need to do. Do you have any superstitions? Like stuff you do just in case, even though you know it's probably not a real thing?
I do.
We all do
one thing. I'll try to make garbage shots, throwing garbage.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on one second. I got to see what's up with my children.
Okay, I'll go into.
What's up, cute child?
Telling you that me and Liam are going on a motorcycle ride.
Okay.
We'll probably be back soon, and you'll hear the garage close and then open again.
Okay.
Because mine dies really fast.
Okay. Okay, bye.
I wish I could go on motorcycle rides.
Just going on a motorcycle ride.
Just gonna go get her first tattoo. We're gonna drive down to the tattoo shop.
She is 1,000% my daughter. We've figured it out where, like, everything she tells me is like an airline instruction manual. She will give me every detail.
Mm-hmm.
As boring and mundane as it may need to be. Like, I don't know if you heard her. She was like, I'm just here to tell you that me and Liam are going on a motorcycle ride. You will hear the garage door open, and then you'll hear it shut, and we will be gone for a little bit of time because my motorcycle dies quickly. Like, I didn't need to.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I do that too. I'd always provide unnecessary information or information that's common knowledge. And I'm doing it for myself more than the other person.
I do I always think the story I'm telling is super interesting. I'm like, gather round, children, listen to my story. And it's 99% of the time not as compelling as I'm making it out to be. I think the telling of it may be more interesting than the thing I'm saying.
Yeah. It happens. Okay, so here we go.
Okay.
In Turkey, the country, they teach their children that chewing gum turns to dead flesh at night. So they say, don't chew gum after dark, little kids, because if you do, it turns into dead people's flesh. Very specific, dead people's flesh. That's the belief.
It's like the opposite of transubstantiation.
Yes. So it doesn't turn into animal flesh, not monster's flesh. It's people's flesh. That's what. So.
Oh wait, hold on. I just heard my pump turned on, and it'll flip my breaker. Hold on. I don't know why it must be on auto. Okay, hold on. I'm so sorry.
No,
my
go.
compressor just turned on. 1 second.
We might lose. He's in charge of this whole thing. So if his breaker flips, we're all gone. It's just gonna cut out right away. So yeah, I think it's funny that it's like, no, you're like, I get it. I've fallen asleep and woke up with gum in my hair. I've put chewing gum in my pocket when I was in like 2nd grade because I was saving it for later. But
sorry.
Yeah, I was telling everyone about one time in 2nd grade I put chewing gum in my pocket because we couldn't have gum in class, but I didn't want to throw my gum out because I wanted it later. And I put it in my pocket.
Oh.
So that was fun. So yeah, this is probably just one of those superstitions where it's like you're trying to scare your children into doing the smart thing. Like, because kids fall asleep with gum, you can choke on it, or it can fall out and get in your hair and get on your bed and your clothes. And
these are the same people who they're the same kind of cultures that invented like Krampus and
yeah,
they retell the grim fairy tales, the grim ones though.
Yeah.
Know?
I think I've said it before, but like when I was living in Madagascar, we'd be walking down the street and the parents would literally point at the white people and be like, hey, the white man's here to take you away because you're being bad. And they were like, and the kids literally, like we had little kids. I had moms putting their toddlers in my arms saying, he's going to take you home now and eat you because you weren't bad. You didn't listen to me and you didn't do what I told you to do. And like these little kids are literally screaming in terror. And I'm just like, take your kid back.
Did you ever get like a wink, like you're walking towards somebody and the parents like, wink, I need to do the thing. And you're like, all right, I'll do it.
I guess I'll be the boogeyman again.
My brother is when Sam was young, I don't know. Sometimes you create little terrible scenarios that don't seem to die very easily.
Mm-hmm.
One scenario I created was apparently when a toy broke, I'm a fixer. So I'm like, well, I'll just call the factory and get another one. It's not a big deal. I'll call him because he'd be mad at the maker of the toy. They're like, oh, why did they make this so cheap? Why is it so easily broken? And so I would be like, I'm going to call, they'll fix it. And I'm just going to buy another one. Right. But my brother, Jake, ended up becoming my hotline. Because there was a time we bought something at the Oregon coast. And it was like a little globe with like something in it, and it broke.
Yeah.
And he's like, why was it so breakable? Oh my gosh. And I was like, I'll call the factory. Okay. And we'll get another one. He's like, call him right now. So I called Jake and I'm like, hey, globe factory in Oregon. And Jake's like, uh-huh.
Yes.
Your globe broke and my son wants to talk to you now. And I hand the phone to Sam and Sam's like, the globe broke and I wasn't doing anything wrong. It wasn't me. It broke. It broke on its own. And Jake's like, okay, well, I've got one right here. I'm putting it in a box for you, sending it your way. It'll be there soon. And I take the phone back and I'm like, thanks, factory.
Thanks, factory.
I'm an
When
idiot.
I was growing up, my parents always told us that if we had the dome light on in the car at night, we'd get pulled over because that's illegal.
Oh, yeah. I think like we all say that, don't
Yeah.
we? I say that to my
And
kids.
it's just like, you don't get pulled over for having the dome light on in your car. That's not a thing.
I'll tell
It's just
them,
what
I'm
you
like,
tell your
I'll
children.
start swerving and I'll be like, I can't see. Turn it off.
Yeah. So yeah, that was one of the things. So here's another fun one, and I've experienced this in third world country. Did you know that sleeping with a fan on, any type of fan that's pointed at you, will kill you at night? That's a real thing, especially in South Korea. There's a superstition that if you sleep in a closed room with an electric fan running, it can kill you. Not like you'll get cold or you'll make you sick. It will literally kill you. And so, literally to the point that they have, on all fans sold in South Korea, they have timers, and they're like the so you don't die timers. So, like, if you fall asleep in the room, like, you can, like, just in case you forget to turn your fan off before you go to bed.
Is this due to finite energy production and they're trying to conserve energy at night?
That's probably, but yeah, like, and they said that in Madagascar too. It was like, if you have a fan on you and blowing in your face, you'll die. And it's just like, okay, I slept with the fan on my face every night because it was 110 degrees and 100% humidity there. So yeah, of course I had a fan on me.
Yeah.
I would carry the fan around the house with me and just plug it in as I went. So, honest question, would a timer make you feel safer, or would you just still wake up and check to see if the fan was still trying to murder you in the night?
No. At one point, I lived in a house in Tecumseh,
That's
Alabama.
Washington.
And it was a basement. And if we didn't keep fans running, our clothes within a week would get mold on them. That's how like it was literally, when you walked down into the basement by the side steps and opened our door, it was like you were going into a Roman bath full of warm mayonnaise. It was just like, that was the environment. It was the most gross. And we called it the Bat Cave because everything turned to mold in like no time, unless you were, I think things molded if you weren't looking at them. And we had fans running all the time because it was the only way to survive. We also didn't have AC. My bed was so bad that it was a thin, like one of those like RV mattresses, you know, like really thin, like 3 inches on top of wood slats. But we were so poor that the wood slats were broken, but they were broken in kind of a snake shape. And they weren't shattered all the way through. They were just all cracked, but it was cracked in a snake shape. So you had to sleep a certain way. And there was no way around it. But my 18-year-old body form fitted to it. And I woke up like a spring chicken.
Just
moldy.
Fine, yeah. We didn't have to wear suits on my mission because they would just, like, if you weren't constantly washing your clothes, they would just mold. And so we would keep them at the mission office because they had air conditioning. So, like, it was dry in there. So, yeah, they had all these huge wardrobes just full of everyone's actual suits. And you, like, wore them the day you showed up and you wore it the day you left. And that was pretty much it.
Yeah. Things would break down if you left it too long. You know, in our humid environment, they would just like fall apart. It was weird.
Yeah. So next cool superstition, the number 4 causes death. So in a lot of East Asia, China especially, the number 4 is not just unlucky. People think it actually affects death rates. It's probably because the word 4 sounds almost exactly like the word for death in Mandarin and Cantonese. Very close. And the superstition, it shows up all over, you know, China, East Asia, with even some hospitals skipping the 4th floor. There's no 4th floor in hospitals.
Really?
Like, it's like 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 5th. Companies there sometimes won't put 4s in their product lines. They'll just not use the number. People will pay extra for phone numbers that don't have a 4 in it. Like, you can get the premium number without any 4s. Like, imagine looking at a phone number and you're like, that one could shorten my life. I'll pay $200 to get a different one, please.
Crazy.
And so here's the creepier part. There's actually been a measured spike in heart attack deaths among Chinese and Japanese Americans on the 4th of the month. So the belief is heavy enough that it weighs on your chest and causes anxiety, causing people to actually have medical conditions because they're so afraid of it actually happening. So do you avoid certain numbers?
Certain numbers are more significant to me than others.
Mm-hmm.
Like for some reason, I don't know why this is, but autumn, Thursday, 7, all feel like they're the same to me. And I don't know what that is. Pumpkin spice, autumn, Thursday, 7. I don't know why.
Warm and homey.
But why Thursday? But Thursday feels like autumn to me.
I don't know.
It's also not the second to the last day in the week. So it's like, it's like runner up to the runner up of last day of the week if you're going off business calendar.
Mm-hmm.
But Thursday feels like autumn, feels like Halloween, feels like falling leaves.
I've always liked the number 21. I don't really have a number I avoid though.
Yeah. Well, 21's there's significance behind 21. The number that apparently has the most universal significance mathematically, arithmetically, engineeringly, universality is 9. Spiritually, all of it. Like there's mathematicians are like, I got time. You got time to listen about the number 9, and they could, like, it's crazy. The number 9 is pretty wild. But
yeah, fours are bad. Okay, that's
anybody else? Like, I want to know. Like, you know what? On this one, hit the comments on Spot. Tell me, am I the only one that thinks about 7, the color orange, Thursday, autumn? And I'll just throw in pumpkin spice in there. I don't know why.
And all things
Thursday.
Nice.
Weird.
All right, here's one. Mirrors. People think that, so in Mexico, there's a tradition where if you put 2 mirrors facing each other, you're basically opening a door to hell. It's a welcome mat for the devil to come into your home. Now, of course, there are always the rebels, the people who do it anyways, and some people swear that they've seen things in those mirrors that are facing each other. Not like I think I saw something, or there was something in the corner of my eye. It was, no, I saw something, like, plain as day. So, do you own any mirrors you don't totally trust?
Yeah, I've got a couple mirrors where I don't look in them because it's like something's wrong with the warp, and so it
just hits your hips weird.
Yeah, or at my gym, I love my gym, but it's a kind of a hole in the wall. It's kind of a grunting man's gym, but not really. There's not a lot of meatheads in there, but the sparing on the mirrors, and at one part in there they've got those little like Amazon like 12 by 12 mirrors, but they're all like taped next to each other, so you look like like Mondrian painted you or something. Another Mondrian reference, right, people? Am I right?
Yeah, some people say mirrors are portals to other dimensions, and that's your what is it? Your doppelganger that you're looking at. It's not even you. It's just your doppelganger who's just in another dimension doing exactly what you're doing, but mirrored. So you're just walking in front of the mirror at the same time every single time.
If I have to be honest, I don't spend a lot of time in front of the mirror. I try not. I even if I'm skinny, I feel like I'm a fat guy all the time.
Yeah.
I just don't.
That's a picture in your head. You have to change the picture in your head.
Yeah.
All right, next one. Sweeping floors on New Year's Day can lead to the loss of good fortune. In Vietnam and in other places that celebrate Lunar New Year's, You do not sweep the floor on New Year's Day because you're sweeping away the good stuff. You don't clean at all, in fact, causing germaphobes' heads to explode during these times. The tradition states that because you might sweep out or clean away your good fortune. And if you go the electric route, you still have to be careful you don't just vacuum your blessings into the bag and never see them again, like my grandmother's ashes after my accident. Question. Have you ever not cleaned because it felt lucky, or is that just the excuse you give your wife?
I can't ever say I've not cleaned because it doesn't feel lucky. Can't say that I have any cleaning or not cleaning superstitions.
You can put that in your back pocket next time. Your wife's like, why didn't you clean the kitchen like I asked you? You're like, because it was unlucky.
Just felt like the wrong time.
Yeah. I could have died doing it. It was just unlucky.
Yeah.
So here's one that we all know. What do you know about birthday wishes and blowing out candles?
It's pretty common. That's one thing I know. I know that for sure.
Do you know the rules, though? I just want to see how prevalent this is. What's the rules of wishes and birthday candles?
You blow
we
them
got
out.
someone in
You
the back
make a wish
already.
and blow them out so it becomes true. And usually the number of candles is in direct correlation to your birthday, unless it could start a forest fire.
Yes. And we got people in the back. You never tell everyone else your wish, or else it will not come true.
Right.
So there's actually 28% of Americans really believe in these rules. So, and it's not just kids, it's adults, educated, full-time, job-holding people, and they're taking a deep breath over a cake like it's an ancient ritual. You have to make the wish while you blow. You have to blow out all the candles in one breath. You cannot tell anyone the wish. If you say it out loud, it just evaporates. Wish gone. Try again next year.
Huh.
There's no loopholes. The wish always knows. Always knows.
Interesting.
Do you ever tell your wishes to people, or do you keep them locked up tight in your little heart muscle?
Oh, at this point, there's several thousand hours of me talking behind a mic. I'm pretty sure everyone could guess what my wishes are. I probably blathered them on the microphone
And
before.
that's why
I think I've even
come
distributed my Amazon wish list link before.
And here's another question. What's the most high-stakes cake you've ever had to blow out?
Some of these questions you're asking, Chase, are like either they're borderline genius or the dumbest question. Did you just ask me what is the highest stake cake I've ever blown out?
Yes. I'm fishing here, bud.
Okay. Then
Trying
I'd
to get
have
you to reveal a deep, dark secret about yourself.
Well, I just blew out my 50th birthday cake, and that one seemed pretty high stakes because, I don't know, 50. High stakes would be blowing out someone else's cake.
Speaking of that, and staying in that same line, writing names in red ink shortens lifespan. Do you see what I did there? Short lifespan. So back in South Korea, if you write someone's name...
Wait, I don't get it.
Because you're old.
Highlighting...
You have a short lifespan. That's the joke. Because you just said you're 50.
Okay.
If you put a 50-year roof on your house right now, they would live longer than you.
Okay.
In South Korea, if you write someone's name in red ink, they don't just dislike it, like my English teachers. They believe it can actually shorten their life. This is a real thing, writing someone's name in red ink. So there's a funeral tradition where the names of the dead were written in red. So now, red name equals this person is going to die sooner. Schools and businesses even have rules about it. Like, this is where we're talking about, like, laws. Like, there are, like, laws and stuff against this. Official things. You don't put your name in red on a document ever. It actually causes people to feel real anxiety if they see their name in red in certain places. So, like, this is legit. People think, like, people will actually have anxiety attacks seeing their name just written in red because of the funeral traditions. So, if you saw your name in red on a form, would you cross it out or just throw the whole thing away?
I think the only time I've seen my name in red is, like, when I was young and dumb and realized, wait a second, that wasn't just a free Discover Card t-shirt or a free $300. I owe money back? You know, that letter saying, Dear Stupid.
When
And
you signed
Stupid
up
was
for
in
the
red.
Columbia Music House 1-cent CDs and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
wait.
The
Yeah.
57th phone call, and I'm like, hello? And they're like, hi, this is Columbia. He's dead.
I wrote his name in red ink 100 times.
The only way to get rid of that one.
All right, here's one. Itchy palms. Itchy palms predict financial changes. According to legend, if your left palm itches, that's money going out. If your right palm itches, that means you're going to have money coming in. It's like your hands are tuned into the stock market. So this isn't in just like one or two cultures. This is all over the world. A lot of different cultures believe the exact same thing. Caribbean, Turkey, like those places are not close to each other, yet they believe the same thing. So they will make people will make actual real decisions based on their itchy hands. So have you ever had an itch and thought it meant something, or maybe you should go see the doctor?
Sorry, something's playing. How do I stop this? I'm so sorry.
What happens?
Something on Midjourney, something on Discord just started playing, and I was like, "What's going on?" It was like it was a webinar. I was like, "What's happening?"
You ever
Suddenly,
accidentally found yourself in the middle of a webinar? Well, you just did.
He was like, "Welcome to Prompt Craft from Midjourney." I'm like, "What's going on?"
Leave me alone. You ever had an itch and you decided it probably meant something more? And we're not talking about like your downstairs itch.
Yeah, like I don't think I'm alone here either. Like every time I get more than just a fleeting throat itch, I'm like, uh-oh.
Strep throat.
Or something, you know, uh-oh. Non-gonococcal urethritis again.
For the 7th time this year. The worst is when my eye will itch and I'll go to rub it and then I can feel that dull little pressure that a sty is coming.
Oh,
That's the
yeah.
worst. You're just like, oh, my eye itches, and you're like, oh no, I can feel it.
Yeah.
It's happening.
It's like a tiny baby knife goes poke, and you're like,
dang
it.
You're like, my week is going to suck.
Yeah.
And this isn't the wildest idea that your body gives you signals. It's comforting sometimes, the signals. Some of the signals are gross. Some of the signals are gross to other people. And like when your stomach tells you that it doesn't like Taco Bell as much as your mouth does. That's a sign that your body can give you. But next time your palm itches and nothing happens, it's just a delay. The check is in the mail. Just remember that.
Yep.
Okay, that's what I got. That's some of my superstitions. I have more, but we'll save them for another times.
What?
Yeah, I know.
No, please, Chase.
I know you loved this one.
You're good. They're gonna a lot from the Asian and that theater.
Historically, they are very superstitious.
A lot more superstitions going on there. All right. What I decided to brung was I got a parcel full of internet rabbit holes that have ceased to die. No matter how hard we try to kill them. Some of these you might have heard of, some of you might not have heard of. But
is that another band you brought today?
Yeah. Ike Dweck. Get his name in there one more time. All right, so let me hit you up with some of these. Here we go. The mystery, tell me if you've heard of this one. The mystery of Alex from Tennessee and the Elizabethton coordinates. You heard of it?
I haven't heard this one.
April 24th, 2013, a cryptic and quite unsettling thread emerged on.
Let me guess.
Yeah, go ahead.
4chan.
Yes, it was 4chan. It would soon become one of the internet's most chilling and hotly debated rabbit holes, a maze, a mystery, and it's still haunting digital urban legendary.
How long ago did this start?
2013, April 24th, 2013.
That always sounds closer than it is. I'm that age.
Yeah, that was 12 years ago.
Yeah. That always sounds like, that was like a couple 2 years ago.
Yeah. So it began with a relatively simple post. It was this aerial Google Maps screenshot of a rundown part of Elizabethton, Tennessee. And I'm not saying that wrong, I don't think, because it's not Elizabethtown or Elizabethtown. There's no W, so it's Elizabethton, Tennessee. Living in Tennessee, can't recall ever driving to there. But it was this Google map of the rundown part of the town was marked with the pin, and the coordinates were paired with this bizarrely taunting caption that just said, "By this rubble, your prize awaits. Tennessee Park nearby, and walk to this point for the secret. It's under plastic at this point. Good luck."
I'm hooked.
Yeah, so at first, forum users they just kind of dismissed it. And they're like, sure, this was, probably a prank or someone desperate for internet attention. But the thread quickly took a sinister turn. So only 20 minutes later, the original poster reappeared and replied to the skeptic commenters with more cryptic comments. "No one shall claim the prize. Time to try in other websites." The forum blew up with speculation. Was this guy serious? What was the prize? Was this a trap, or was it some kind of elaborate ARG? Which in 4chandom, it stands for alternate reality game.
Mm-hmm.
So the op, I'll just call him the op, the original poster, the op continued to drip feed the thread with unnerving comments like, "It's warm. No cops here. Someone coming for the prize." And then posted a photo of what appeared to be an animal's claw lying in the grass. So the fingertips were elongated, almost disturbingly so. So that kind of triggered an avalanche of really uneasy guesses. So over the next 2 hours or so, messages like, "I'm angry. You are not here. My friend moves. My friend is not the prize." And "Plastic prize. I've had my friend for long now. Not what matters today. I need people to come." That kind of crap kept the tensions really high. So then the posts became more desperate. So it's like the op was waiting for someone at this point, anybody really, to take the bait. Also, like, I'm kind of thinking, okay, it's 4chan, which is worldwide.
Yeah.
But you're talking about Elizabethton, Tennessee. So, like, I'd like to see on a heat map how many people in the Elizabethton, Tennessee area within a 100-mile radius even know how to spell 4chan, let alone they're on it,
Yeah.
And then let alone they're in that channel. But anyway, he just keeps going. So then there were more disturbing images that he posted, or they posted. A blurry photo of a room that was so dark it resembled sort of a dungeon. Then a handwritten note, picture of a handwritten note. "Please come Wednesday, April 24th, 2013. The last message of the night. Singing tonight. Someone come. And then suddenly the op vanished. So for 5 days, the thread lay dormant, and the strange coordinates just kind of lingered in the minds of those who were following along with the saga. Then, on April 29th, a user named Alex appeared, claiming to have gone to the location in Elizabethton. Alex posted a series of photographs to the thread, revealing what he saw inside a decrepit building at those coordinates that he went to. So, plastic garbage bags hidden among the debris.
Mhm.
He found a mummified pelvic bone.
Cute.
And a styrofoam plate scrawled with haunting words. Plates, a date, a very important mate. You shouldn't have come. I lied. Unfazed, Alex kept going deeper. He found bottles of pills, all cobwebbed over, signs of abandonment and decay. Yet, as the commenters were starting to press for more, Alex stated that he heard a car approaching and decided it was time to peace out. So his final post was hurried and pretty anxious, was a cryptic warning about a window or like a vent before exiting through a wooden door. And then Alex never posted again. So speculation exploded at this point amongst I don't even know how many people we're talking about. It's this, 4chan's crazy. It could be 4 people that they're so copious in their commenting that it seems like 40,000, or it could be 40,000. I don't know. But things blew up. Had Alex met some grisly fate, or was the whole saga just like an elaborate hoax and Alex and the original op were the same person? Kind of uploading pre-staged images to create an eerie internet drama. So the frequency of Alex's uploads, almost a minute apart, even while supposedly exploring a creepy, unknown location, kind of suggested some levels of premeditation. Like later, real-world investigations by YouTubers and the urban explorers out there found little beyond evidence of squatters and the remains of routine kind of urban decay.
Oh, okay.
But kind of in my head, what rattles around is, I get it that some of the items could be placed there creepily, staged, but some of the things, some of the images, like if you look this up, if you look it up, some of it's like you couldn't have staged it because of the amount of patina or decay or cobweb or, it sat in situ, if you will. And wasn't like somebody brought a box full of stuff and then randomly smattered it around, and it was like, ooh, look at all the creepy stuff we found. No, this stuff was there for sure. Some of it was. So years later, mystery still remains. So we don't know. Was this really good internet performance art? Was it kind of an alternative reality game? Some kind of macabre flair to it?
Yeah.
So, Alex from Tennessee, if you ever want to dig, if you got half a day and...
Not related to Alex P. Keegan.
No. Not at all.
Okay.
Isn't Alex P. Keegan from that 80s TV show?
Yep. Michael J. Fox.
Yeah. Was it Family Ties?
Yes.
I loved that show.
It's just tip of mind because I rewatched Stranger Things.
I am convinced that the reason I regularly clean my ears with Q-tips is because of Family Ties, because during one episode, during breakfast where the whole family's eating breakfast. Alex is hurt. And for those of you who never saw Family Ties, Alex was insufferably type A business guy. He was a teenager, but he always wore a suit and tie, and he was always going to be successful. He was a stark contrast to the rest of his family. And at one point he was so hurried that he was trying to do his, like, what I would call your bathroom routine in the kitchen while everyone's eating. He's like cleaning his ears with Q-tips, and it always stuck in my head. I'm like, oh wow, like that's how important it is. You should, like, even Alex is like, even in his hurried state, he's cleaning his ears. That's important. Okay, so it's important. So I don't know why. I even think about Family Ties when I clean my ears to this day. It's weird.
Just Alex P. Keegan.
Keaton. Wasn't it Keaton?
Yes, I just said Keegan.
Oh, okay.
'Cause I know a kid named Keegan.
Oh, okay. All right, I got another one. This one's sort of an amalgam of internet rabbit holeage, but thrift store discoveries. So thrift stores, I love a thrift store. Like, I feel no shame in being in there. I could care less if people thought, I could care less if people saw me in a thrift store and like, oh, things are that bad. Or they saw me in a thrift store and were like, how dare he be in here when all this stuff, really should go to people that have more need than him. I don't care. I love thrift stores so much. I will never not love thrift stores. Some of the most museum level discoveries I've ever made are sitting in thrift stores, and it makes me excited to think about them.
I just got a couple weeks ago, I walked into a Goodwill and I got a like $300 softball bat for $7.
Oh yeah, you told me about that.
Yeah, just sitting there. Yeah, really nice. I mean, it's only 2 years old, no cracks, no nothing. Just chilling. I'm like, I like to play this. Like my golf driver, I got at a thrift store. It was for like $18. Super. And I've been hitting it for 10 years and I haven't found one I like more. So, I mean, it's just, I love it for just sporting equipment, stuff that you might not use all the time, camping equipment. Like if you're not like an avid go every other weekend camper, like there's nothing wrong with getting something like that, because it's like you can get good name brand stuff for a tenth of the price.
I was at a thrift store a couple months ago and I came across a Fjallraven, Fjall Raven sweatshirt. I was like, hang on.
Yeah. Those are pricey, dude.
Yeah, I went online, $230.
Yeah.
And they wanted 15 buckaroos for it. I was like, fine. Thank you very much. Brand new, too. Like, sometimes I build little tiny stories in my head when I'm in a thrift store and I find something. Like, when I found that, I was like, oh, man, this person died and their rich parents had to get rid of a bunch of his stuff. Like that's the only, like in my head, I'm like, who with proper context would give this up? Yeah. Like, it's so expensive. I'd want to give it up and then like also put a note on it that's like, this is super expensive. I don't know. Like
you know what? The story I do is I just go, this was a person who bought this for themselves. They never were able to fit into it because it was like their goal thing.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm going to fit into this. They keep it in their closet for 2 years, never even can even get close to putting it on. So then in a fit of rage, they're just like, I need to get rid of this right now. It pisses me off. And then they go chuck it in a donation box. That's how I like to see things.
Sandy in the back door says, I love you, Sam, but I hate when people say I could care less. If you could, then why don't you?
I'm going to ruin Sandy's entire world. Look up colloquialisms.
I couldn't care less. It's I couldn't care less.
It's both. It's called a colloquialism.
Oh, really? So
yeah.
It can be.
That's what a colloquialism is. When you use something wrong for long enough, it actually becomes correct. They're both correct.
Yeah. What? Yes, Sandy. No, you are correct in my brain, though. You're right. I should say I couldn't care less. I need to get better at that. I need
But
to
you
improve.
could care less if you really tried. But you're not trying because you couldn't or could care less.
Yeah, but I feel like she's got a point. Like it frustrates me when something becomes so common that we give up on its proper. And she's right in this case. It's I could care less. I couldn't care less is correct, because I could care less means you've still got equity for caring. And that's not what anyone means when they say it, right? It's like when Fred Durst in a microphone interview on a red carpet once said, "We're in agreeance." And I'm like, no. Agreeance isn't a word. But then it just kind of caught on and everybody says agreeance, but agreeance isn't a thing. And now so many people say it that like the dictionary's like, all right, we'll let it in. I'm like, no, don't. No, that's not like.
How did the first word get put in there? Because people let it in.
Okay, you're right. Like, I get it. You're right. The things that end up making it in that survive beyond being colloquial to like common common parlance are all bastardizations of some other.
The ones that get me is
proper.
when people forget that there's 2 R's in the word forward.
Forward.
The other one that a lot of people don't realize, and this is even more common, there's no T in the word across.
Yes, across.
But a lot of people say across from me, and that's.
It should be backward, not backwards.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it's like the powers that be are like, oh, we'll let it slide. One that I hate, I've probably said this before, is when someone says they're frustrated.
Yeah, frustrated.
Because not only is it wrong, but that's the absolute wrong time to correct them.
Or people will say fustered too. I've heard a lot lately. That's a newer one I've been hearing a lot more is, or frustrated.
Yeah,
like fustered, or frustrating, and you're just like, no, stop! It hurts my brain.
Or people will say, oh man, they land blasted him. No, it's lambast. Lambast.
Yeah, there's the other one, especially people.
Oh, especially.
Or people say I seened all the time, like, oh, I seened him just yesterday. I seened him.
Yeah, like, we're probably making a lot of people mad.
Whenever I was is the other one too. Whenever I was.
Do
you know people who do that? Whenever I was walking down the street the other day, whenever I was at the store yesterday, and you're just like, stop.
Yep. So, okay. So back to my thrift stores. One of the most chilling examples of this genre of famous finds that end up becoming viral is the infamous Creek photograph. And it was discovered in a Goodwill store in Washington State. So it's a photo album, a whole photo album with only a single image inside. It contained a snapshot of 2 men with their hands bound behind their backs, one face down in the water, the other staring stunned into the foreground with the shadow of another figure wielding an object hovering menacingly behind. So the image, it was initially posted to Facebook and then was widely shared on Reddit. It pretty much rocked social media when it first came out. So theories abounded on this one. Like, was this a film set? Was it military training or a fraternity hazing kind of maybe gone awry, or was it an actual evidence of a violent crime? So there weren't any more clues. There was nothing else that anybody could go on. So, you know, the internet sleuths did what they could. But it's not a singular phenomenon. Like Reddit, TikTok, Facebook, they're filled with stories of, you know, fellow shoppers uncovering strange mementos. Another one, a TikToker used the name JC to explain how she bought a camera at Goodwill in Arizona, only to discover that the SIM card inside was full of family photos, including photos of her own father who lived in Idaho. So this prompted a flood of equally uncanny responses, with users recounting their own brushes with personal relics, like that unexpectedly returned home through thrift store channels. Then, and there's spooky coincidences. In September of 2023, not too long ago, Goodwill employees at a branch in Goodyear, Arizona, were sorting through donations when they found a real human skull.
Ooh.
So while police determined the individual had died of natural causes, not quite sure. I mean, all you'd have to go on is, well, this skull doesn't look like it ever got bonked. So natural causes. But the mystery as to how it actually ended up at the Goodwill is unsolved. Here's another one. So moving away from thrift stores. You ever heard of UVB 76?
Sounds familiar. I think I listened to a podcast on it once, but it was literally a very long time ago.
So it's
Wasn't this
colloquially known as the buzzer.
Yes.
Okay. So there's this nondescript monotone buzz.
Mhm.
It's more than static, repeating over and over, day after day, year after year. But to generations of shortwave radio listeners, conspiracy theorists, your internet investigators, UVB 76 is much more. It's a literal living legend in the world of unsolved technological mysteries. So the UVB 76, or the buzzer, has broadcast on 4625 kilohertz and at times 4810 kilohertz since the late 1970s.
I just told my wife about this because it's Stranger Things kind of does a little nod to it.
Yes, exactly. So it's in that realm of ham radio, coast to coast kind of late night weirdness. Originally transmitting from a military bunker near Moscow. So the broadcast's trademark is its ceaseless, droning tone, about 25 beeps per minute, maintained almost 24/7. It's very seldomly and randomly and occasionally interrupted by a robotic male Russian voice. Reciting a baffling string of coded words, numbers, and names. For decades, this has been going on, and it's piqued the curiosity of, like, the whole world. Like, anybody that can pick up the signal, it'll stick with you. Some people tune in regularly, just to catch, like, even a brief change in the signal. What would be interesting is to have like a show where you have it running in the background all the time. And maybe you don't have the beep on because that would be really annoying, but in the background you've got a waveform that's constantly pulsing with the beeps or whatever, the transmission. And then people would watch that as they're watching your show. And then if the waveform went larger or more, there was more momentum, more motion with the waveform, people would be like, hey, during episode 13, it did the thing, Yeah. And if you were recording it, like on another track, just muted, you could go back and you could look at the timestamp and see what happened. And then you could play it on the next episode. I just invented a whole thing. That's fun. I'm not doing that right now, though. So as the years passed, the buzzer, the mystery behind it only deepened. So in 2010, the signal briefly went silent. And then it reappeared, but from a new location. And people were asking, well, how do you know the location? It's triangulation.
Yeah.
I believe is the main way that they make.
That's how they would catch pirate radio stations.
Yeah, signals attenuate over a period of time. You got more than one transmit or receiver transmitting stations. They can triangulate where it's coming from based on the strength of the signal.
Mm-hmm.
So the call sign switched over time too, from UVB 76 to MDZHB, and as of 2019 to ANVF. So this coincided with online reports from urban explorers and some bloggers who they managed to visit the abandoned Pavlov bunker. They reported a labyrinth, pitch black warren of rooms down there that were filled with like derelict equipment and signs of a sudden evacuation. Kind of makes me think of, is it a spoiler to say kind of makes me think of Lost?
I don't care. I haven't seen it and I never will.
Okay, it's been so many years. But despite all the changes and decades of listening, the purpose of the buzzer still is just in speculation land. Like, we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Some people think it's a dead hand system. So it's like a doomsday device designed to keep Russia's nuclear arsenal kind of primed in the event of a catastrophic attack. Others think it's like a broadcast preceding global events like the annexation of Crimea, or espionage, or some kind of shadow diplomacy or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But there's military insiders that repeatedly provide more mundane explanations for it, as they do. You know, it's like the CIA saying every UFO sighting is just it's gas, swamp gas.
Well, now it's just drones. Every UFO, it's just it's just a drone.
Everything's
A drone.
On domestic forums, these Russian military insiders claim the broadcast is part of a military communications network, and so it's used for like coordinating drills and relaying routine but encrypted orders, or just holding the frequency to prevent unauthorized use, which happens. You know, there's such things as frequency squatters.
Mm-hmm.
So according to that view, the enigmatic voice that you hear, they're simply byproducts of military bureaucracy. They're not signs of some like hidden world order or anything like that. Yeah. But the myth still stands. It's very, very powerful. And, a lot of people talk about it still.
Yep. Yeah, I remember it was a podcast called Thinking Sideways. They're not a podcast anymore, but yeah, I remember they did a whole episode on this.
When do you think a podcast should end?
When you lose the magic.
Do you think it should end when you, like, what are the factors? Liz in the background, back there, don't you dare. When do you think a podcast should end, though? Do you think it should be like the math, like listenership, or because the problem with that is that it reminds me that there's an artist who does these really cool pictures, and he's got one of like a guy digging through the earth, and he gives up, and you see the whole dug hole that he's dug. But it's a cross section of the earth, and you can see that like 1 inch from it there are diamonds, but he gave up, Yeah. And I think that's the plight of every podcaster, where you're like, I've done so many episodes and I only have X listeners. I'm just repeating history, expecting a different result,
Yeah.
What do you like if you had to determine what is it? When do you fish or cut bait? Like, crap or get off the pot?
It depends. I think if you find joy in it, it brings you joy, why would you stop?
Yeah.
But I also think that there comes a point where if you're doing it because other people expect it from you more than you want to do it, the product's going to suffer, and everyone's going to suffer with you until they just turn it off themselves.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And so it's like there's kind of a balance there of if you can't put your heart into it, eventually it's just going to get to the point where no one's going to want to listen to it anymore. Even the people who would have, the diehards are just going to be like, they can feel it.
And that's a challenge that I've always like, I agree with you. Like, the listeners who listen for hours and hours and hours, they can kind of pick up on the vibe. Like, if something changed in the way you presented it or whatever, they could pick up on it, and you might even see it in the comments.
Mm-hmm.
Like 911's a good example of just that, like, a lot of changes happen. But the one thing that I'd like to say, other than my accent disappearing, is I've tried to be really consistent with the delivery, that so any commentary on the change or people that hate it now or whatever, it usually has to do with the people that are on it with me, coming or going or whatever, but the heartbeat of the show is always kind of there. And so, you can't go off of comments. You can't go off of, I guess what I'm saying is you can't just go off of that because somebody says, oh, this has changed, it's no longer good. Because I'm still getting those comments, there's still haters that, they're just looking for a thing. So I'm constantly thinking that I'm like when, and I look around and I see shows where when you're not on the inside and you're like, why? I've even reached out to some podcasters as 11:59 and I'm like, hey, we could reboot this. Like, you've got hundreds of episodes. It was a banger. Why? Like, let's do this thing. And one was a very good show. And they replied back and they were like, after talking, it was like I want to say 3 or 4 hosts of the show.
Uh-huh.
And they responded and said, after talking amongst ourselves, we've decided to go ahead and say no. Respectfully, but no. And I kind of got the feeling that there might have been a couple people that are like, I liked doing it, dang it. And, I would have kept doing it had X, Y, or Z person not wanted, so it's a probably myriad of dynamics, right? That, that do the math on when a show should see its end.
Yeah. And some people, it's just like, it becomes more of a chore for them than it becomes about creating anything. And they feel like, everything ends eventually.
Yep. Okay, here's one more for you. Sorry for that little tangent. I was just always curious what other people think, especially other creators, where like, does it ever hit you, the balance between got to make the donuts and do people actually like these donuts?
Yeah.
Am I the only one eating the donuts? With that being said, we have exactly 12 people listening to us right now on the back door. That's the magic number. That's the number that I said I would make jerseys and auction them off, starting with 0. Well, actually, I gotta be honest. What I would do, if I ever did that, I would make 14 because we have 2 Apex. The Apex get them. Apex Erica's in the back door right now. She gets 1. Our Apex get them. And then it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yep. You're everybody in the back door right now. You're currently in the 12. I do it as an auction though, so that because I'm a capitalist. Plus jerseys are expensive. I'd love to be able to give them to the 12 people that are sitting in the back. Oh, now we're down to 11.
Someone's like, I don't want a jersey. Screw you guys.
They're like, they were like, this jumped the shark right now. All right. My last thing I brought today, the disappearance of Doveland, Wisconsin. That's right. It's a whole place. So this is kind of the birth of a modern Mandela effect. Do you know what a Mandela effect is?
Yeah, it's a misremembering pretty much.
Yeah,
but
it's
on
like
a large scale.
Yeah, like Fruit of the Loom. Was there a cornucopia basket in the logo or not?
Yeah, or the other popular one is the C-3PO's leg being a different color.
Oh, yeah.
From the rest of his body the whole time. And people are like, no, that's not a thing. He didn't have a silver leg.
Yeah.
And then you go look and it's like, oh, shoot.
He did. Yeah. Yeah.
The Berenstain Bears. That's another one.
Yep. Was it
now
always
the newest
spelled?
one's Chick-fil-A.
What's the Chick-fil-A one?
The spelling, if there's a C, if it's just C-H-I-C or if it was C-H-I-C-K at one point.
Or it's C-H-I-K, right?
Yeah, like that. But people just, they can't make up their mind. They're like, no, I remember it being spelled different.
That's a hard one for me because in the area where I live, there are often these billboards with like 3D, like real 3D cows up on the billboard, and they're painting the billboard, and they were painted "Eat more chicken."
Yeah.
But it's always spelled CHIK in the book. That's a good one. All right, let me tell you about this one. So we got tons of. You could go on the internet and spend a whole day on just lost places, like communities that vanished, places that should have never existed but apparently did, nature making radioactive power plants on its own, crazy stuff. But few have seized the collective imagination like the legend of Doveland, Wisconsin. So on the surface of this one, it's kind of straightforward. So during the heyday of the Cold War kind of military experimentation, so I would put the Cold War. I don't know exactly when it started. It was hot and heavy during the late 70s, early 80s. It eked back into the 60s, obviously. I don't know if I'd say it went all the way back. This is how bad of a historian I am on this topic. I don't know if it goes all the way back into the 50s. I would wager maybe. But heyday, Cold War military experimentation, a small town called Doveland, sometimes called Doveland, Dand, or Doveland, don't ask me why, was home to hundreds of military families, allegedly built to support Project Sanguine, or Sanguine, it's Sanguine, a real, if ultimately abandoned, U.S. Navy plan involving massive underground antennas communicating with submarines using extremely low radio frequencies. So supposedly something happened. There was some kind of disaster or like an experiment gone awry, or maybe a government cover up, but the town was evacuated or destroyed, and its name and location was scrubbed from official records. Kind of hard to believe that this could happen, but kind of at the same time, like, imagine this. Imagine there's a paragraph in your high school history textbook, right? It's sometime in the past when you're in high school. The paragraph comes and goes. It's something that just like is implanted in your brain because you heard it in high school history class. But then the next year, as the high school and collegiate textbook racket goes, apparently last year's history book isn't good anymore. So the school has to buy all new history books because that makes a lot of sense.
Because they changed one word.
But every year that happens. So what it gives them the ability to do is in the high school book that you had your hands on, there's a high likelihood that 99.9% of those high school yearbooks were destroyed either by the school because they're no longer good and could be considered. I mean, if there was something, if you asked me in the 90s in high school, what would you call misinformation? I might say, well, they update history books so often that I guess like an old history book might be misinformation. Like they're updating things. So apparently like they learned more about history. So that would be like what I would couch as misinformation. So, but that was the trend. So schools are destroying the history books. The manufacturers are getting rid of them. The likelihood that you kept hold of a history book from high school is very unlikely because we all threw them in the dumpster or returned them to the school or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So it's very likely, one step further, and the next time map makers make a map, the next time history is printed on the page by McGraw-Hill or whatever, Penguin Press or whatever, the next time that the white pages and yellow pages are printed. It doesn't take, if you go back to that period of time, it wouldn't take a lot. It would take a pretty short meeting for people to be like, let's write down all the places on the board where information, addresses, locations are disseminated. People would be like, maps, white pages, yellow pages, history textbooks, encyclopedias. Yeah. And they'd be like, okay, so Bill, you're reaching out to Encyclopedia Britannica. You're hitting up the yellow pages. You know, it would take very little for them to be like, hey, by the way, this place no longer exists. They could give some benign excuse to the white pages, like this is a decommissioned site. There are no more phone numbers or addresses here, so just remove them. And the recipient of that information at white pages is like, you made my job easier. I'm just going to go ahead and go to the microfiche and cut that part out, you know? So that's how quickly all of this just went away. So today, Doveland doesn't appear on any map. It's not any there's no verifiable historical documentation or official mention of its existence. Yet, if you scour Reddit threads, urban legend forums, and obscure online, you know, corners, wikis, places like that, you'll find dozens, if not hundreds, of people who claim some memory or connection to Doveland, whether through relatives or heirlooms or like long lost souvenirs.
Yeah.
So photos of Doveland shirts and mugs, even like group photos allegedly from the town, circulate widely on social media now. There's this curious wrinkle. Google's search suggestions and autocorrect continue to prompt users with Doveland, Wisconsin. But the leads never go anywhere substantial. So the town is literally kind of a phantom. It's hyper real in the digital age, but utterly absent from conventional reality. So where did this collective memory come from? So the earliest digital traces that they can find seem to originate from around 2015 on a Tumblr thread. Of all places.
A Tumblr.
God, I remember I had
back some memories.
Yeah. Tumblr was so weird because like in my I always used Tumblr. I used Tumblr along with Dribbble. Dribbble was like a graphic design profile place where you could drop your whole portfolio and it was free. They had a pro plan, but somehow I always ended up like looking at people's Dribbble photo albums and like ended up on Tumblr to look at more. But the more you're on Tumblr, it's like for me to be like graphic design portfolio, photo, 6 photos later. Then I'm into like furry illustrations. Then it's quickly into like nudity. And then you're just, and then it's just like a raft of GIFs that you never wish you'd seen. It's the weirdest place in the world.
Yeah.
But so the origin story of the digital fingerprint of Doveland seems to be around 2015 Tumblr, where users speculated about the town's fate, and they shared some like supposed secondhand accounts from parents or grandparents who lived there. So the theories abounded. Government conspiracy, dimension shifting. Some people even suggested the entire village was erased from existence by parallel universe mishaps.
Yes.
But most credible researchers doing the deep dive, trying to do the responsible thing, they've found no evidence outside of internet lore to suggest that Doveland had ever physically existed. Now, I am of the mind to say, no, this is something we can figure out, because I had a business that was founded in a business incubator. And the business incubator I was in received donation equipment and furniture from Mountain Home Air Force Base.
Okay.
And every single desk that we received from Mountain Home Air Force Base was probably from the 50s or 60s. your desk weighed 730
It
pounds.
was solid metal.
So there is a place somewhere there where somebody got tired of hefting 1-ton chairs, and they got Doveland's name written all over them somewhere. It gotta be there. But this is one of those things. It's like the psychologicalists on the internet and the kind of the digital cultural experts. They put this one into the Mandela effect, and they're like, "Nope, Mandela effect. You never saw it.
My theory was, because there's older school map makers used to put fake things in the maps to prevent plagiarism.
Yeah.
So they would put like a little, dot on the map and say, "Oh, this is a town," or they would put in extra streets in detail views that weren't really there. And then so if any other maps showed up with those in it, they could go, "Hey, that's plagiarism because that doesn't exist. And I put that in there on purpose," and they could prove plagiarism at that point. Yep. So that was my initial thought, but this is like digital. This isn't.
Well, it's also military, and apparently hundreds of, like, I could get behind the thought of having a bunch of military families contractually obligated to never say anything. I don't think that's outside of the realm of possibility. Like, I think that especially if there's something, it's mundane and benign, like nobody in town is thinking, boy, I can't wait on my deathbed, I'm going to tell everybody about Doveland. Yeah. Like if it was a nothing burger, like, yeah, the town was disassembled and we were all moved out, but nobody really knew why. It wasn't like there was a nuclear fallout or anything. Like,
well, there's a town like that in Alaska that was a military town, and they just, one day, they're just like, "Okay, we're all done." They had just built a $7 million hospital there.
Wow.
Like 6 years before. And yeah, one day the whole town, like I can't remember what it's called. It's on the swooped chain of islands.
Okay.
And it's the closest US city to Russia, but it's not, it was a military thing. It was literally just there because of Russia, back in the Cold War. Uh-huh. And so once the Cold War was over, they're kind of like, "Okay, we're done here." And so there's like 30 people who live there because they do like tours of the place, and that's it.
Okay.
And so like there's whole schools, whole hospitals that are abandoned and just left alone. Like the whole town just completely abandoned in Alaska.
It happens. I've talked about it before. There's a lake in Idaho where the military created like whole structures, and they were for submarine defense and protection because the lake was so deep.
They're testing out stuff there.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like how the government can roll in and create some entire thing and then it's gone overnight, or it's weird how little we look into things. North Korea is full of this kind of stuff. Like you might have seen like the secret footage of fake grocery stores.
Yeah.
Where like I don't even know if it's real food or if it's plastic, but beautiful.
Uh-huh.
But nobody ever goes in. Oh, and there are people whose job it is to mill about. Like they're going to the groceries. Like that's their job. So bizarre.
Yeah.
Just crazy.
There's a fake grocery store in Las Vegas that's actually speakeasy.
Isn't that called every place in Las Vegas?
Yeah, but they have like all the products are all fake and stuff, but you go in and then you open up one of the freezer doors and you walk through it and there's the speakeasies back there.
That's fun.
Yeah.
That's fun. Also legal, right? In Nevada.
It's legal.
Like it'd be legal to do that. That's fun.
Just their shtick to get people in, is a fake grocery store and making it feel like you're doing something,
quaint.
Yeah.
Like under the
you're putting one over on the man, even though it's a fully licensed, legitimate bar.
You show up, you pop up on the other end of into the group, and you're like, "This is so cool," and everybody's like, "Chase, why are you wearing a flapper girl dress?"
Yes, because this is how I am in Vegas. What happens here stays here.
Oh, boy. Well, on that note, let's galumph on out of here.
Just like we galumped on in.
Yep. No, we are 12 strong. We're 11 strong right now as far as listeners. We're 12 strong. So if I freaked anybody out about us ending the show, I like doing this show. Always have. And we'll never be bereft of content because the world is weird.
Yep.
And we're here for it.
And so are we.
Yeah. We're weird enough to meet its match and our maker. But not before the show keeps going. What? Anyway, that's all we got. Soup, everybody.
Bye.
So, soup, let's start the show.